Hey, you guys, this is Jerry Mateo with In the DAW, and today we have a pretty cool and interesting little couple of plugins that I'm going to be checking out. That is going to be the brand new Bx Delay 2500. This is a really cool, fully customizable delay from Brainworx, and the other one is going to be the Bx Rooms, also from Brainworx, both sold by Plugin Alliance. Now, the Bx Rooms is a plugin that's been out for like a year or two. It's a really cool customizable reverb. It basically allows you to control the type of reverb that you want, the size of it. You can control the outputs for the mix, for the dry wet, the in and out gain. You can fix mix, wet, solo. You have the reverb section, which controls the timing, the room size, and the room shape. And to be honest, that is the most important section for me because I like to make it either really long or short. You can even make it infinite, but I don't use that quite often. The whole thing is the shape and size are the mainstay when you're trying to create a reverb. Each one will actually completely change and shape the tone and the sound and the resonance of everything. You also have a pre-delay, which can be none all the way to 200. And then we have source distance, which is basically how far is the wall that it's going to be bouncing off of. We have effects for like some phasing and modulation. We have quantization noise that we can add, and then we can have our stereo width control, our pan knob, and our mono maker. We also have our EQ section, which has high and low pass filters that can be off 6 dB or 12 dB octave slopes. Then we have two shelves or bells, and those can be off, mid, side, or mid side. We can also process the dry or wet signal, and then we can bypass the input, bypass the output, and that's it. Really quick, really easy to do. Sounds great, uses almost no CPU. The next one, which is the big one, is the Brainworx Bx Delay 2500. This is a stereo delay unit, which allows you to link or unlink all parameters. You can just do that right here. And you have control of the timing, the offset, feedback, pan, filters, auto wah, a transient shaper, and your level and mix. Now, the timing is really cool because if you unlink them, you can make one a specific time and the other one a specific time. If we take the sync out, we can actually make it set up to milliseconds. And the offset actually uses a little bit of an offset between the timing. So let's say they're both linked and they're both set to, let's say, 16th notes. The offset will actually make one side a little bit different than the other. Let's reset this real quick. The feedback is just feedback. The high and low pass filters are very smooth, but this auto wah is really cool because you can get this really cool wahing effect. The transient shaper is something that I've never seen in a delay before, and it's a great way to control the initial transient snap of the first initial delay. And obviously, that's going to affect the other ones and the feedbacks. You have soft, medium, high. You have threshold and makeup. You have your level and mix control. I like to keep the mix at 100% wet. We have a ducking control, which is really cool for making sure it doesn't get in the way when the vocal comes in, or let's say whatever source you're using. You have a modulation control, which has flanger and chorus. You have distortion, which also has quantization, noise, which you can turn off, an MS matrix for stereo width control. You can swap your left, right, wet, solo, fix, mix, sync it, and you have a gain in and out. So pretty quick, pretty easy to use. Let's take a quick listen to this. This is something I recorded yesterday with the artist Steven Bonilla. And we just recorded this just getting a quick rough idea of the guitar takes. So let's take a listen to this without any time-based effects. Sounds pretty good, but everything sounds like it's just there in your face. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to turn on the guitar delay that I've created, and that's going to be the Bx Delay. The first thing we're going to do is set this to sync mode, and I want this to be eighth notes triplets. Let's set the offset to 0%, and let's just take a listen to what this sounds like. We'll turn this up a little bit so you can hear it. Right, sounds pretty good, but check out what happens when I mess with the offset. You can hear that slight change in the offset of timing. One of them is a little bit before, one of them is a little after. It's great for adding a nice wide stereo image. I'm going to keep the feedback at about 41%. The panning is going to be like that. Let's try out the auto wah. Really cool, right? I'm going to set this to about 4 dB and make it a little bit slower. I'm going to have my high and low pass filters filtering this out to be a nice dark delay. And now let's check out the Transient Shaper. That's soft. Let's see, medium and high. You can really hear it how it just snaps that initial attack. I'm gonna set this to medium, bring down the threshold, and bring down my makeup. That sounds good to me. Let's mess with the ducking. Now this isn't gonna be as apparent because we're using the Transient Shaper. Try all the way up as far as the release. And make it really fast. I don't really think we're going to need that in this case because we want it to swell. Let's mess around with the modulation. So we're going to set a depth at about 23, make it a little bit slower, and then have the mix at about 30%. Subtle. Next, let's try the distortion, 100% mix, and let's try the types and the shaping. Ooh, I like that one. Nice and warm. We'll set the mix at about 50%. And let's check out the quantization noise. I'm not a huge fan of quantization noise, but I know a lot of people are, so I'm going to just leave that off for now. Next, we're going to use the stereo width control to make it a little bit wider, but also keep anything under about 200 stereo. So now let's take a listen to this in the mix. We're going to bring this down so it doesn't overpower it, and let's just check it out. Really nice and low. Bypass. Back on. Really nice. Okay. So next, let's check out the BX rooms on the guitar. We have it on the guitar verb for the rhythm guitar. Let's set up a plate, make it large, and let's just see how it sounds. Pretty cool. Let's check out the reverb timing. Infinity is pretty cool. Let's bring it down, make it relatively short, and let's check out the room size now. It really changes the characteristic of the reverb. Let's check out the shape now. Really dull and dark. Really bright. Let's try somewhere in the middle. That sounds really good. Okay, let's try the pre-delay. I like the pre-delay, but I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Let's try the source distance. A little intimate. A lot more spacious. We're going to go in the middle. Let's try the effects. I'm not really sure I'm going to use them, but let's just check out what they do. I think just a little bit might work. Let's listen to the quantization real quick. Not a fan of quantization like I stated before, so we're not going to use that. Next, let's go to the mid-side control. We're going to make this a little bit wider and make the mono maker make things mono in the low end. So here we go. Use a little bit of filtering. I like that. Okay, let's bypass it. Bring it down to the mix so it doesn't overpower anything, and let's take a listen now. Cool, that sounds good. Let's go to the program drums next. For this one, we're going to go for this wooden room preset because I just like it a lot. But let's see what other things sound like. Let's try punchy snare. That sounds good pretty much instantly, but let's see something else. Cool, so these are pretty subtle. So let's go for something pretty big. We'll go big warm vocal. We're going to turn this into a room, make it large. Change the pre-delay, source distance, and the room shape. I want just a little bit more high end, so we'll change the size. Yeah, I like that. Let's check it out in the mix. We're going to bring that down so it doesn't overpower anything. And let's just go into the mix window where we can bypass them all and then bring them in. So here we go. And on. Off. On. There you go. That is the BX Rooms and the BX Delay 2500. Two amazing time-based effects. I'm going to be honest with you. I use these for everything since I got them. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. This is Jerry Mateo with In the DAW, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.